So, let's talk about another film in the Exorcist franchise. After the first three Exorcist movies, which I love all three of them, I think it's a fantastic trilogy. We got two Exorcist prequels starring Stellan Skarsgård that both take place before the first one and are literally origin stories of the character of Pazuzu. And they're very close to being the same movie. But honest to God, this is one of the the first one I'm going to talk about today is Exorcist: The Beginning, which is the first Exorcist prequel that came out. Then Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, came out 1 year later. This film I'm going to talk about came out in 2004. Dominion came out in 2005, and it is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen because it's literally two prequels of the same story with the same main actor doing the exact same story but doing it in a different way with both prequels. That is an odd thing to do. And honestly, rewatching Exorcist: The Beginning, directed by Rennie Harlan, by the way, this was almost insufferable to sit through. I don't know what makes me so angry with this movie, but I just cannot stand it. This movie was so dull and dreadfully boring that I could not find anything to say that's good about it. I think it's really bad. Even the actors that are actors known for great things, like Stellan Skarsgård is a great actor. He is just bland, and these characters are so bland. Again, it's directed by Rennie Harlan, who, besides A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, all his other horror movies I have seen, I can't stand. I can't stand The Covenant, and I can't stand this one. And he did a couple other horror movies, and I'm blanking on them right now, but I just couldn't stand The Covenant or this one. And poor Rennie Harlan, because I do like a lot of his movies. Like Long Kiss Goodnight, love that movie. And Nightmare 4 is great, so... And Die Hard 2. So, Rennie Harlan is a competent director. It's just... I don't know, and this is his most, subdued film that I've seen so far, because, The Covenant is really over-the-top goofy. And Die Hard 2 and Nightmare 4 have some silly things in them. But this is played very straight, trying to be like the first film. But because of that, because of the characters that are not interesting and the performances that are lackluster, even though these are good actors, the movie suffers from being so boring and so uninteresting, for me personally. If you like this, that's fine, but I thought this was so incredibly boring. Now, I'd say this, the opening I think was pretty effective, where it was showing this guy running around during this plague happening, where whenever the plague happens, every single one of these men die. They are all hung in upside down crosses, and it shows it to where it's literally miles and miles and miles and miles of dead bodies just hanging on crucifix or on crosses. That's pretty effective. So I thought that was a cool opener, but after that, it's just it's about Father Marin, played by Stellan Skarsgård, and he finds this boy who gets kind of possessed, and then eventually the girl he likes becomes possessed. And it's just so dull. That's all I could say about it. It's just extremely dull. These characters are not interesting. I literally can't remember anything about these characters at all. I just remember that this character is supposed to be Father Marin because they say so. He's Father Marin. But Max von Sydow is great in The Exorcist 1 and 2, and it's he, in this, Stellan Skarsgård, who's a good actor, is just bland, and it's unfortunate because they could have made something good with this, but no, he's just bland and boring. And I think that the use of CG isn't awful, but it's kind of weird considering with the first three, they're not CG movies, so it's and of course the third one was made in 1990, so before that they didn't have any CGI with these films. And doing that with these two prequels was odd because it kind of ruins the creativeness of the first three and how they're unique with using practical effects for things that are incredibly visually cool in all three of them. So, in this one, the CG isn't great, but it's not awful, but it's just kind of weird seeing that compared to the first three. I really got nothing else. That's it. I tried to find something else to talk about this because I really did want to talk about this movie, but man, I can't find anything else to say. It's just again, it's just so dull and boring. So overall, just rewatching this, and this is only my second time watching this. I don't want to watch this again. Again, it's just so incredibly dry and boring and dull. Like there's nothing to it. Like it's just so uninteresting. Nothing great. Besides a couple okay things about it, but it's not good at all. I really couldn't stand this movie. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but it is so hard to get through. Man, I had to stop and then go back to watch this again because it was, or finish it because it was so dull. Overall, just one of those prequels, which I love. There's a lot of prequels I love, whether the mass audience agrees with me or not. Like, I love the Star Wars prequels. I love Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And there's a lot of others I know I can mention, but I'm trying to think of them. But Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom's a prequel, technically. So, but it's just one of those prequels that is just so bland and so dull and dry that there's nothing about it that I liked or was interested in it. So, this was just a chore to sit through. Fuck, I gotta watch the next one. Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, which I remembered it still being bad, but I think it was a little more interesting than the beginning. So we'll see on that note. Let's talk about that later a day, not today, because I don't want to watch another Exorcist movie today. An Exorcist prequel, because I'd rather watch the first three. I'll watch the other ones soon. I don't know what day, but it'll be soon. So yeah, let's end it on a low note that this movie was just completely and utterly forgettable.